Are you looking for an entry level role? Maybe in software engineering, maybe in cybersecurity, maybe in quality assurance, maybe in DevOps. And you have maybe finished a boot camp and now you are looking for that role, for that first opportunity, and you are not finding anything. You're applying endless applications, tailoring your resume to try to sound like you have that experience. But every time you put an application in, either you don't hear anything back, or maybe a recruiter might reach out to you every once in a while, and then you share your experience. You let them know that you just completed a boot camp, and they ghost you. You never hear back from them again, and now you're discouraged. Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal. I'm going to be honest with you. Not all entry level roles are created equally. What do I mean by that? So, an entry level role, for example, at a call tech center or even at a tech company's customer service, is totally different than an entry level role in quality assurance or cybersecurity, even if you went and took a, you know, made up, put together, quote unquote, boot camp where you probably finished your certification or your what do you call it, your coursework in like 6 months, or not even six. Well, 6 months is still too short, but in like 6 weeks, it doesn't work that way. And that's why I say that not all entry level roles are created equally. So let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of Candid Conversations, hosted by your truly tech coach, Ralph, where we are engineered to win. Today's episode, I want to talk to you about entry level roles, because you'll do your search and you'll say, oh, this is an entry level role, but they're asking for 5 years of experience. How can I ever match up to this? Or they're asking you for the thing that you do not want. They're asking you for a degree in possibly computer science, networking, information technologies, and you're like, well, would you take this 3 week boot camp that I just completed? The answer is most likely not. And now you find yourself in a little bit of a pickle because you spent maybe the same amount of money that it would cost you to go to college, maybe a community college, on a boot camp because you wanted to be done fast. And they promise you that if you take our 12-week program, you will find a job making triple, yes, triple what you are making now. And now you just find out that the bill came. You got some, you put your education, you put your boot camp on in a firm plan, and now it is time to pay up with 30% interest rate. And you're like, I thought I would have a job by then. That's what they promised me, and I have nothing. So I want to give a shout out to my guy, Prince Marky D, who sent me this LinkedIn post where someone was kind of giving encouragement to cybersecurity professionals, saying that I know you've been looking around and it's so hard to find entry-level roles, but take a look at this list. These are some quote unquote, entry-level roles at some different companies for cybersecurity. And I was looking through the list, and here's a quick side note, right? A quick side note. I always love how these LinkedIn posters post a list of jobs, right? Honestly, I believe it's to increase their following on LinkedIn. But you might have some recruiters say, oh, I have this one job available, leave a comment if you're interested. Now, from my understanding, all these social media platforms, including LinkedIn, they work based off engagement. The more engagement that you get, the more your post gets boosted to the top. And now you end up giving false hope to these people who are commenting. They're so they're commenting in the like, oh, I'm interested. And I honestly don't even believe these jobs are real, right? But that is my side note. I digress. The point that I'm making is about this, right? So now looking in the comments, and the first comment says, well, looking through through one of these job descriptions, it's still way more than entry level. This seems like a level 2 position because they're asking for this and that and that. Well, my thing is, guess what? It might be entry level in cybersecurity. It might be entry level in software engineering, but it might not be entry level for your qualifications, when I was getting started in tech, and I've been in tech for I've been working in tech for a very long time. When I was getting started to get my first official job in tech, right? I graduated, or I was just about to graduate with a network engineering degree from a kind of like a vocational school, right? And and the my first job from there was working for a web hosting company, answering phone calls to do tech support to help people troubleshoot. And I will say that that was probably one of the most important jobs that I've ever had. Why was that so important? Well, that was important because that was the foundation. To this day, till this day, I still use all the things that I learned while working at that company. The things that I learned in school, I barely ever use it. The only the only reason that I kind of use it nowadays is because some people that I'm coaching, they're working on networking and stuff like that, and we're also trying to figure out like these cloud environments, setting up the load balancers and the subnets and the VPSs and all that type of stuff, right? So I kind of have been coming back to it, but it is not my strong suit. However, the work that I did for the web hosting company, it led me to so many different opportunities. And I think one of the big problems is that we like to try to jump the gun. We try to jump the line instead of going through the process. And another issue that happens is, see me, when I got into the industry, I was probably about maybe 22, 23 when I started working at this web hosting company, all the way to I was about maybe 25, 26-ish. And I went from starting working at the web hosting company, answering phone calls, doing technical support, into web development at that web hosting company. And then after that was done, I ended up getting into quality assurance at another company. And then that just took off my career. But I do truly believe that if I did not have the web hosting working experience, that was my entry level. My entry level was answering phone calls, helping people set up their emails, helping people troubleshoot their website issues, changing their DNS, setting up their MX records, all of that type of stuff, right? And the funny thing about it is now, just recently, as we're going through our ethical hacking course, right, we're learning about the ping command, the NS lookup command. I learned those things in training for working in tech support. So I knew ping, I knew some terminal commands, I knew NS lookup, I knew about domain name servers all the way back then. And that's a great foundation for me, because then when I started doing QA, I had a mindset of troubleshooting, of looking at what the issue is, how to use the Chrome developer tools, all of that stuff set me up for success. But because we like to jump the gun, we like to say, all right, well, I'm going to try to take a shortcut, only to find that as we go through the shortcut, there's a roadblock. But to take that shortcut, we have to pay a toll. And then that toll can cost us like $5,000, $10,000, some even $20,000. You know, I know how important getting certifications are to so many people, but for me, certification without practical hands-on experience means nothing. And I'll even tell you this, right? These programs, you might have these little labs that you have to do. They're so cute. They are so cute, those little labs that you guys have to do, right? But they are not the same thing. They're not the same thing. They help you to prepare to pass your certifications, but how can you actually do something on your own? That is the thing that I'm always looking for. I say, yes, go get your certifications. You need them, right? But they are not the end all be all. You'll get the certification that you start going into for interviewing for a company, and they start asking you questions that you do not know the answer to, which you might know the answer to, but because you memorize things to pass your certification, you cannot use the critical thinking skills to be able to figure out what exactly they're talking about, and now you fail. If you can get even that far, right? Because a lot of people, they don't even get that far to the interview process. They barely have their resumes even looked at. And then we want to complain, like, we want to blame the companies, the recruiters, when honestly they do not owe you anything. You want to know who owes you something? If I had to pick somebody who owes you something, it would probably be the school or the boot camp who lied to you, who says, "Oh, guaranteed you will be making triple, quadruple the amount of money that you're making now if you go through our program, and we will give you resume assistant and all this good stuff." And then you find out the resume that they give you, it was written by somebody who has no tech experience, who's never worked in the industry. And if they did, they're probably on their first week on the job as well. So I've seen it before. I have seen it before. Like when people go to a boot camp and then they come and they bring me their resume, I'm like, what the hell is this? Not only do they put like forged, not technically truthful information on there, it's like what they put on is still bad. They don't list any value whatsoever. And now we want to complain about the entry level roles. So now back to my point about not all entry level roles are created equally. The level of experience that I needed for working for the tech support was very, very low. But I still needed to know a little bit about how the web works, how computers work, how networking works and stuff like that, which helped me to get that job. Because if not, then I probably would have, maybe I would have been considered for customer service, which I would definitely not want to do customer service, right? But maybe. And then from there, from how I understood all the concepts and how to answer the calls, one of the directors there said, "You know what? I would like to try a pilot project out with you. You're still gonna have to answer your calls sometimes, but I do want to see if you can figure out this web development stuff and how it's done and work with the other team that's currently doing it. So we bring it in-house." And I was like, okay, sure. And I got that opportunity. And from there, I started learning how to better do web development. And then I met some people who they actually gave me a book that helped me so much about CSS. And it just took off from there. And from the web development things that I did, that helped me to learn how to do quality assurance. So if we move forward to when I got into QA, that could be considered technically as an entry level role, but it probably wouldn't be an entry level role if I had just graduated and didn't have any real technical background. But my experience doing web development, being the leader of the web development team, set me up for success in order to get the job as a QA, as a quality assurance analyst. And then from there, I got the opportunity to do automation testing, and it just kept on growing from there. And now I'm doing all types of crazy type of automation, doing DevOps. I'm doing CI/CD pipeline stuff, and now I'm able to present this information to you. However, I did not try to jump the gun based off some fancy advertising online saying that, oh, I can go from 0 to hero with absolutely zero experience. Maybe I used to be a teacher or something, and now I want to triple my teacher salary because I completed this 7.5-week boot camp with a not even a cute resume. I was going to say a cute resume, but it's not even cute. It's just a bad resume, right? It's a bad resume that their advisors wrote up for me, the same exact resume that they give to but imagine that. Another sidebar. Imagine that. You have so if somebody's creating a resume for you, right? And this is what I've seen, which I think is a terrible strategy that these boot camps do, right? But they will take all your experience. So you might be 40 years old, right? And you've been working for the past 20 years. And now they wipe out the past 20 years of your life, and they just put that your job experience is their little fake internship. So it showed that you have absolutely no life experience, no nothing. And now you have to go apply for the job. But here's the kicker, right? all the other 1,000 people in the boot camp, they have the same exact resume as you. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. But they have the same exact resume as you. So what are you supposed to do? So now you guys are fighting for the same jobs. You guys are fighting for the same jobs, right? You guys have the same exact resume. And now these recruiters see this resume and they're like, what am I supposed to do with this? I know we said like 2 to 4 years of experience, but you had like, and we asked for a college education. At least give us one. Give us either the experience or give us the college education for us to actually like take you seriously. But that's what happens every single time, like from what I see, right? Who do I see getting jobs? Who do I see getting these entry-level jobs? And I would say it is the college graduates. They might not have the experience, but guess what? They probably did a real internship because these colleges are working with these companies to try to plug in their students. While your boot camp, they're giving you some internal fake internship. These college graduates who are actually going for the major that these companies are looking for are saying, "Hey, can you work with my students?" And then they go through interview process as well. And now if they do really good, guess what? They said, "Hey, would we be able to take this person on full time when they graduate?" I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. Insider information here. Companies, when they're like a lot of them when they're hiring, they will start looking at these upcoming college graduates 6 to 8 months in advance. So you might see these quote unquote these entry level job postings, and you're like, oh, I'm going to apply for it, right? They're being marketed to college students who are about to graduate. It's just the way that the world works, you know? So you are competing against these young college students who they are capable. They have the ability to take less money than what you're requiring for something you don't even have experience in. So not all entry-level jobs are created equally. For me, my true entry-level role working in tech support led me to an entry-level role as a web developer, which led me to an entry-level role as a quality assurance engineer, or not even a quality assurance engineer, a quality assurance analyst, which led me to my entry-level role as an automation engineer, which then I finally stopped having to get entry-level roles because that I found my home there, and I grew that, and then I started to becoming senior automation engineer, a senior Q engineer, and so forth. But I had to kiss a lot of entry-level raw frogs. And it's what it is. But that's just the nature of it. You might have starting your career, whether you're starting your career at 20, 30, or 40, you might have to have a few entry-level roles. You know, the other option, which I always recommend to people is like, why don't you try to pivot within your own company instead of saying, no, I'm going to go externally. And now you see that it's so hard to find an external role because of you think that your 6 months of studying and being able to pass a test is going to put you ahead of everyone else. And it doesn't work that way. That's why I say not all entry-level roles are created equally. That is my thoughts. And and that's probably why you cannot find the entry-level role. I tell people that I'm coaching, right? I'm like, look, I know you might have took this boot camp. I know you went to college and stuff like that, but is your goal to get your foot in the door and grow from there? Or is it just to try to go straight to the top of try to get to the penthouse at the very beginning and say, well, my little few months of using this program, I need to be at the top. It doesn't work that way, right? And I'm like, you need to look try to get into a help desk role, try to get into the ground level, and then network from within and grow from there. So now that you are at a particular level, then you can start looking externally because you have built your experience, you have built your resume, but you have to get your foot in the door. That's my message to people, right? I can easily, like, somebody that I'm friends with, they said that a SOC analyst in cybersecurity is a good starting role, and that's probably true, right? But whatever is the ground role, and sometimes the ground level at the industry you're trying to get into is not actually the ground level as well. Think about it like this, right? Think you have a tall building, and let's say cybersecurity starts on the 6th floor. Sometimes you have to go through the first few floors, the first 5 floors, which might be tech support. Might be something like that. Might be customer service, who knows? But you might have to go through those floors first in order to get to that cybersecurity or that software engineering or that QA or that DevOps. Who knows? It just depends on the level of complexity of the role. And I'll tell you this. The more complex the role is, the more they're going to require these certifications, and the more they're going to require that you have the education to back it and that you have the hands-on experience. So finding a way to build all of those simultaneously, it might be a tough task, but there is a way to do it. And I say that you might need to find a real entry-level role to actually build your experience. And while you're building your experience at an entry-level role, maybe help desk, maybe technical support, you're also studying. See, a lot of times we get lazy once we get a job. We're like, I don't have to do anything else. I've seen it time and time again. No, getting a job in the tech industry is just the starting point. I call that graduating pre-K, graduating pre-kindergarten. Now, once you actually get into the job, now you're at kindergarten and you're starting to learn about the different roles, different aspects. And then you can start to grow. But by just going through some course, taking some online course or whatever like that, that is nothing. That is just your introduction. That's like learning how to count at 2 years old. That's just the beginning. Passing the certification, great. It's not a job. Happy for you, it's not a job. You might get a security plus, you might get a CCNA or something like that, and you're still working the help desk, getting a tech support role, but you need that experience. You need to talk to people in order for you to grow. That's my message to you, all right? So that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for another episode of Candid Conversations. Hopefully this resonates. Hopefully this adds value. Hopefully this gives you a better perspective on how to maneuver in this job field, especially when getting started, when looking for these entry-level roles. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as well as in the chat. But we're going to get out of here. Do me a favor, if you haven't done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification so you know every time we go live and drop new content. As well, go to techcoachrob.dev, sign up for exclusive content, sign up for one-on-one coaching where I can help you maneuver. I can help you to build some practical hands-on experience that you can have these great talking points in your interviews and on your resumes to try to help you not bypass, but to try to help you deal with this entry-level conundrum that so many people face. All right. Your goal is to just be a little bit better than the person next to you. So if you need one-on-one coaching, check out techcoachrob.dev and we can run it up together. But I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. Tech Coach Rob, we are out.
Internship was all they gave. Flex my skills, dug my own grave. This tech ship's left me stranded in a sea where dreams are banded. Paid 20 grand for a crash course ride. 3 weeks sprint, now nowhere to hide. Got my resume sharp like a blade, but doors ain't open, I'm stuck in the shade. They promised me gold, but gave me 10. All the gear, but can't get in. Feeling like a ghost with a haunted past. Spent all my cash, now I'm out of gas. Dusty skills and empty thrills. Paid my dues and got the bills. Go sit by praise. Living on hope and caffeine highs. Tired eyes under cloudy skies. Internship days and unpaid nights. Dreams of jobs and neon lights. Feeling broke, but they said I'd